Hello everyone. In the previous video, we have learned about the net income approach of capital structure. In today's video session, we will try to understand the net operating income approach. Net operating income approach to capital structure believes that the value of a firm is not affected by the change of debt component in the capital structure. It assumes that the benefit that a firm derives by infusion of debt is negated by the simultaneous increase in the required rate of return by the equity shareholders. With an increase in debt, the risk associated with the firm, mainly bankruptcy risk, also increases, and such a risk perception increases the expectation of the equity shareholders. The capital structure of a company is a mix of debt and equity in the company's mode of financing. This ratio of debt in the capital structure is also known as a financial leverage. Some companies prefer more of debt while others prefer more of equity while financing their assets. The ultimate goal of a company is to maximize its market value and its profit. In the end, the question stands in front is the relationship between the capital structure and value of a firm. The financial experts and professionals advocating the idea that increasing the debt component or the leverage of a company will increase the value of a firm. On the other hand, increasing the leverage of the company also increases the risk of the company. There are various theories which establish the relationship between financial leverage, weighted average cost of capital, and the total value of the firm. One such theory is the net operating income approach. This approach was put forth by David Durant and it totally differs from the net income approach. It also famous as a traditional approach. It suggests that change in debt of the firm or the change in leverage fails to affect the total value of the firm. As per net operating income approach, the weighted average cost of capital and the total value of a company are independent of the capital structure decision or financial leverage of a company. As per this approach, the market value is dependent on the operating income and the associated business risk of the firm. Both these factors cannot be impacted by the financial leverage. Financial leverage can only impact the share of income earned by the debt holders and equity holders, but cannot impact the operating income of the firm. Therefore, change in debt to equity cannot make any change in the value of the firm. It further says that with the increase in debt component of a company, the company is faced with higher risk. To compensate that, the equity shareholders expect more returns, and thus with an increase in financial leverage, the cost of equity also increases. There are some assumptions of net operating income approach. The first assumption is that the overall capitalization rate remains constant irrespective of the degree of leverage. At a given level of EBIT, the value of the firm would be the EBIT divided by overall capitalization rate. The second assumption is that value of equity is the difference between total firm's value less value of debt. The third assumption is that weighted average cost of capital remains constant, and with the increase in debt, the cost of equity increases. An increase in debt in the capital structure results in increased risk for shareholders. As a compensation of investing in the highly leveraged company, the shareholders expect higher return, resulting in higher cost of equity capital. Now we will try to understand the net operating income approach with the help of illustration. Consider a company which is having EBIT of rupees 1 lakh. Company is also issued 10% bond, that is a debt component of rupees 3 lakh, and the weighted average cost of capital is 12.5%. This is under the case number 1, and while calculating the value of the company, first we will consider EBIT, that is given rupees 1 lakh. Weighted average cost of capital is also given, that is 12.5%. So we will calculate the market value of the company. The formula is EBIT divided by weighted average cost of capital, and the total market value of the company is rupees 8 lakh. Total debt, that is 10% bond, amounting to rupees 3 lakh. So the total equity calculated as total market value less total debt, and it is amounted to rupees 5 lakh. So according to that, now we will calculate the shareholders earning. The formula for the calculating the shareholders earning is EBIT minus interest on debt. Here the EBIT is equal to rupees 1 lakh, and interest on debt, that is 10% of rupees 3 lakh, comes to rupees 30,000. So therefore shareholders earning is rupees 70,000. So now we will calculate the cost of equity. That formula is shareholders earning divided by total equity. So 70,000 divided by 5 lakh is equal to cost of equity is 14%. Now assume that the proportion of debt increases from rupees 3 lakh to 4 lakh. That is happening in case 2, and all other factors remain same. So here EBIT is equal to 1 lakh rupees, weighted average cost of capital is equal to 12.5%. So the market value of the company, that is 1 lakh divided by 12.5%, comes to rupees 8 lakh. Total debt in case 2 is rupees 4 lakh. So the total equity is total market value minus total debt, that is rupees 8 lakh minus rupees 4 lakh. So total equity is rupees 4 lakh. Now here shareholders earning is calculated as EBIT minus interest on debt. EBIT, as we know that it is rupees 1 lakh, and here in case 2 interest on debt is 10% of 4 lakh. So therefore shareholders earning is comes to rupees 60,000. Now we will calculate the cost of equity in case 2, where the formula is shareholders earning divided by total equity. So 60,000 divided by 4 lakh, here the cost of equity is 15%. As observed in the case of net operating income approach, with the increase in debt proportion, the total market value of the company remain unchanged, but the cost of equity increases. That happen in case 1 to case 2. In case 1, the cost of equity is 14%, where in case 2, where debt component increases, cost of equity also increases up to 15%. Thanks for the watching video.